Hello guys, gonna be bringing you the very last 1v1 of my own ladder games. I actually played this game tonight rather than the last few games I've cast, which have been a fair distance ago. And I really wanted to cast this game. It's a short game, Protoss versus Protoss on Scrap Station, and I wanted to just highlight some of the points that I learned from it. And the first point is don't leave a game whenever you have a chance of winning, unless you're just a complete failure and you want to feel like a douche for quitting. Because I felt like this game ended before it should have, but at the same time, I can understand why the player that left did leave. And so I am going to be playing Protoss for actually the first time in like 2 weeks. I've not played Protoss in a while. But I feel like my Protoss play is relatively strong. It's not that hard of a race to play. I think it's probably the easiest race to macro as, just because warp gates are super easy to use. And so I'm going to be throwing my pylon as far away as possible because I'm trying to make it look like I'm cheesing him, and I like to throw that little mind game panic into their heads. So here's something that you might want to think about. Against Zerg, you never want to do this, and this being go for a 13 gateway. And in order to do that, at 10 food exactly, once this pylon finishes, you chrono boost out and you drop 2 probes, so you then get to 12. And then usually what you do is you don't use your next chrono boost until after you throw your gateway down, but it makes you waste about 5 seconds of probe production, and I absolutely hate wasting probe production time. So the trick is to chrono boost as much as possible with this build, and it's very strong against Protoss. It's strong against a Terran that isn't trying to do some like cheese, or not so much cheese, but it's definitely weak against cheese like Reapers, so I don't end up doing against Terran. But it's very strong against a normal opening out of Terran, a quick expansion or anything, because you get so many workers. And let's see the unit difference. Right now he's at 13 workers because he's saving up all of his chrono boosts. He's probably going to be throwing down a very fast warp gate, is what I'm assuming. Or just he's a horrible player. Can't really tell. I am just casting this game blind. Essentially, I did not know how good my opponent was. So I went ahead and stole this gas here. And I did that because I was planning on going Void Rays this game. Don't suggest stealing gas as anyone but Zerg unless you really have a plan to do so. It is a lot of money, 75 minerals. Fairly expensive early on, so I'm going to be throwing down that Stargate right after that Cyber Core is done and I have enough gas for it. Not going to be getting the Warp Gate immediately because it is important that you save that 50 gas in order to get your first Void Ray out on time. And I'll be starting to save up my my Chrono Boost. And see, this is interesting. If, say, he were to start chrono boosting now, as you can see, I'm working on this assimilator. If he were to start chrono boosting probes out now, well, he's not even building workers. This is just weird. If he were to start doing that, I will say that a third time, he would be able to catch up in workers. But because I did mine earlier, that earlierness to this game, or to this probe production, allows me to have a stronger economy. Period. Because I will, even if he evens it out later, I will have had these probes longer, and thus will have received better money from them. So it looks like I'm about to be 2 warp gate, like super early pushed. This is an interesting build. I actually kind of like this build, and you'll see in a bit that he actually does come in with a fairly strong army. And the point of this build, or the point of this game, casting this game for me, was to show that there are situations where you think to yourself, oh my god, I've lost. Or, oh my god, like, there's no way that my army can defeat his army right now. What do I do? And a lot of times your initial reaction is either to leave or to just say, fuck it, I'm just going to attack him. But I want to think about the ways in which you can delay, the ways in which you can lose your, first zealot right there, because they are so slow. And so you see I have 1 stalker. I have 1 stalker, a bunch of probes, 2 void rays. And so what I did was I said, okay, I'm going to use this void ray to delay. I'm going to start attacking with it. In the meanwhile, I'm pulling my probes off the line. I realize I have void rays. Okay, I'm going to lose pretty much everything here. Jesus. I am going to use these probes to build a wall for my Void Ray to attack. And at the same time, I'm in his base with this Void Ray. I think the mentality, and there he goes, he leaves the game. And this game is over. And you would think, what? He has these warp gates. He has the Stalker here. He could probably, I mean, he can't actually because he doesn't have the money to, which is why he left the game, obviously. But he could have probably tried to pull something out. Even just, you know, sending guys back here and putting guys in this gas, using this Stalker to run away from this Void Ray and just to get hits on him might have worked to harass him enough to get enough gas out of this refinery or this assimilator to get enough Stalkers to defend this, and then he would have been in a perfect position with this many probes to my 5 probes, and all I have are 2 Void Rays right now. So my point is that that army that I saw moving up was like 5 Stalkers and like 4 or 5 Zealots to my 1 Zealot, 1 Stalker on the way, and 2 Void Rays. Clearly in a battle-to-battle fight, those 2 Void Rays would have lost to those Stalkers, and those Zealots would have destroyed my Stalkers, and I would have lost. But because I pulled probes and I surrounded the Zealots and then was able to delay, and I was smart and sent 1 Void Ray to his base and kept 1 for defense. I split my forces adequately, knowing that he was going to rape my economy no matter what. I was going to, I'm just going to back it up a little bit so we can see this Void Ray doing its job. I was going to try and do the same thing to his economy, and all of his forces were obviously over here, so I could do this freely. A lot of players are going to be tempted to send both their Void Rays at this army and probably lose one and then end up unable to do any harassment damage. And it's this harassment damage that makes this build of his fail. Because even if I take all my Void Rays and just rape his army, and by rape his army I mean use all my probes to pull off the line to rape his army, I'm still going to be behind because he's got 3 gateways and he's going to have enough money, he'll probably throw down this gas to get enough Stalkers out. And those Stalkers are going to be able to defend against the Void Ray attack, which would come after I defended this. By splitting this up, making this force a little bit weaker, I end up, you know, being able to fight that off. So anyway, I just thought that was an interesting little thing. I thought I was going to lose this battle, and then when he left, I was like, what? How did that happen? Like, he should have stayed in. But, you know, seeing his gas level right now, I understand why he left. But anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting, and felt like a good win as Protoss, and one that I really felt like I didn't deserve, just composition-wise. But anyway, thanks for joining me.